It's a different type of world. If you walk into Target, somebody don't have their mask on, they're just like, whatever. You walk into Walmart, and I swear they got WWE fighters in there standing at that door.
They're very militant.
Like, why? It's a different type. If you walk into Stater Brothers, they're like, I don't give a shit, let them die. If you walk into Target, they're like, all right, sir, can you put your mask on? If you walk into Walmart, it's like, ding, ding, like, what? Why? Why are they so aggressive? What do they know? That's something that you should look into your nearest Walmart about. I feel like people need more information because I feel like they hear me, yes, but nobody's going to hear me until you see it for yourself. We're in complete danger and everybody keeps asking, can you just expose what you know? I know a lot, but there's some things that I know that if I tell you there's a reason why there's insurance videos, it will write our death ticket right here. This phone will click off like something out of a creepy horror movie. We know that we're being tracked. We're aware. We know, and so did another terrorist organization that told us that there's a reason why they haven't got to us yet. There's an inbox message that I have that I've screenshotted that somebody told me, Sleepy Joe will come after you. He has Musk and NASA computer training to make sure that you die soon. That was the threat that I got. I thought, you know what? Your mother must love you, sir. Your mother must adore you. Is that why she don't like you too? Your whole family must love you. Thanks, but do you think they're kidding? Do you think that... I know they're not kidding. I know that there's somebody watching this right now. You think I'm stupid? I know that they're keeping an eye on us. I'm aware. I trained with you. I'm not stupid. How do you think that we've survived this entire time? Do you think I'm not aware of the things that are going on under this camera? I'm aware. I know that people are completely listening to us right now. But they also know that if something happens to us, how people, like, there's people go into satanic ritual abuse meetings, grab children, slit their throats, and use their blood as a margarita. People chop children's bodies up and eat them like chicken wings. You can pull a child's body apart. People want to say, oh, abortion this, abortion that. Do you know what it's like to watch a child kick around in a fetus sack? Do you know what that's like? While somebody pokes at it? That's not a big deal. Or somebody's sitting there poking at a fetus sack like it's a baby or like it's a fishy stuck in a bag that you just got from the fish market. And then they cut the bag open and barely the baby's limbs come off like tender meat. How can I say that with a straight face? You want to know how? Because I couldn't budge before. You would be surprised with the shit that I saw. There's a reason why people are like, oh, well, what do you want the most? To go to sleep, but I can't. Because nobody knows the truth. And every time I close my eyes, I can hear screams and voices and not hear voices. Don't go taking a clip of that. Don't go, I see how y'all do things. Don't be like, she said it, she crazy. No, I mean the voices of children that were screaming and tortured and being killed and brutalized and raped. And all I had to do was sit there. Because it was me too. Or it would have been me if I said anything. Your Planned Parenthoods are involved. All of them. All of them.
If you vote for them, if you stand for them, if you fund them, you're complicit.
You're complicit.
You've given your consent.
You give the right for people to take the aborted pieces of children and put them in a sack like leftover food. That's the reality of that.
There's a lot we can do to disrupt the demand. We can stop funding the demand. We can stop participating in the demand. We can stop giving our consent to things that damage our soul, that damage children. Stop spending your money on Hollywood and Planned Parenthood and trafficking places that are harming children, and we've got to stop participating in evil.
Yeah. Children. So we're somewhere right now we can't explain. So we can't explain what's going on next door. We just can't. We're safe. That's all we got. So we had to pick wisely. That's what we got. That's just what we got. Comfort women. I posted this in my. There's so much comments. I'm trying to get to the bottom. And off the. That looks funky, huh? Okay, whatever. So comfort women. I posted in my story, were a thing in World War One, Two?
One or two, I don't remember which. A while ago, a long time ago.
Where the military gets basically the permission to have sex with whatever woman will walk the base.
So it was mostly in Japan, China, Korea. They would send women onto the base, and then the men were able to have sex with them to help keep them focused and you have them in a better mindset to fight war. Is the whole purpose of that. That's not stopped. That's not just something that's done in other countries. That's done here. They let children on the bases.
That's not stopped. That still happens right now. That hasn't stopped at all. Majority of the military is involved. What is that breathing? That's grandma.
It's a slee stack.
You can hear her snoring. Yeah. That's grandma. Go pick up everything. Yeah, grandma knocked out. Grandma getting some good Z's right now. Let her be. Let go and let God, please. At least you know who's the one doing the breathing, okay? So, y'all creeped out. Everybody in the comments like, who's breathing? Yeah. Then, okay, I wanted to talk to you guys about a friend of mine that I just talked to, because yesterday I kind of mentioned it. Was that yesterday? Whatever day that was. I mentioned it. It's been a blur. But I couldn't really mention it because I was distracted, and I really want to put this point across just in case I get the chance to talk to someone else. Because honestly, it was the best conversation that I've had. Someone found me. I'm not going to say her name because she's on here. A lot of survivors are on our pages. So there's a lot of stories that we will tell you guys, and we still talk to these people. So there was someone who called me and said that they remember me from when we used to strip or dance together in Los Angeles. At first, I'm like, listen, so many people are going to come out of the woodwork. They have been. So I let people talk. And I ask a lot of questions before we even get into it. So I really talked to her for a little bit, you know, and she was able to tell me what my specialty was back when I worked in the club. So that's how I know. She was able to tell me a lot. We were like clicked. Okay. After we made sure we got personal, then we got on a really personal level and we talked for a little bit. And, you know, I had asked her if she was upset with me. She kind of went around that for a second. And she did let me know that, yes, she was upset with me. Now, I want you to hear me when I say what I'm about to say, because there's a reason. She was upset with me because I was at the time 13, 14, and at the time she was in her 20s. When I went into the club, I went into the club with younger kids or kids my age sometimes, or by myself. But a lot of the times in Los Angeles, I dealt with a lot of police officers, not just in Los Angeles, but a lot. She remembers when we used to get to the club and I would basically end up taking regulars and taking people away from the girls that were older than me. I wasn't taking them, but my pimp set me up with them, or I was bitchy. I'm not even gonna lie right now. Like it was just his thought. I was bitchy. I was evil. Like people, I call myself soft now. Like I was bitchy. Like I was evil as shit. Like break your heels and do shit that you would never even imagine. You know, as an exotic dancer, do not fall off that stage, and you know what will happen to you if you do. So, I did some things. I really did. And honestly, I hate me. If I was somebody else, I'd hate me too. I'd want to kick my ass too. But I had this conversation with her and she told me, you know, yes, I was upset with you because I didn't make money, first of all. I was kicked out of the club at a certain time of night. I never understood why there were younger girls that would come into the club and the club was surrounded with police and then everybody else would get kicked out.
So the police were coming after their shifts?
The police are catered
after
to.
Hours.
And a lot of the clubs everywhere. This is not just in Los Angeles. But the police and the authorities of the city are catered to. So if there is a strip club, you trust and believe the authorities are catered, which means even the doctors, firefighters, everyday people, when they come in, they are treated like kings and queens. They're catered to. The police station, they are catered to. If they get off work or if they go over and they meet up in their cars, they will shut the entire club down and kick everybody out. And the police are the only people that can be in there. Which is exactly what would happen. After a certain time of night, the older girls got kicked out. And me and usually a friend of mine, we were sometimes put with boys, but the boys were always on the other side of the club. Doing privates or whatever, dancing. I think there was only a few times, barely a few times, being honest with you, that I had to dance with a boy that was my age. Or perform with a boy that was my age. It was not, huh?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really use the boys are different. The boys are just different. Back when they didn't stick around that long. They just didn't stick around that long. Back when I was in it a lot, you didn't see the boys for long. You seen them for a short time because of what they would do to them or the jobs that they get. So, yeah, I worked in the club a lot. And either me or another girl me and another girl majority. I think I was only there once by myself. Yeah, once. In a situation like that, in a setting like that, but not dealing with this type of situation, but in a setting that way, in a club, was only once with a very well-known police department. But yeah, she was upset because it didn't make any sense to her. It didn't make any sense why I was the one that was called all the time, or I was the one who was taking regulars from somebody who they just came in just for their regular for that night as a dancer. There was a lot, but it was the realest conversation I've ever had because, you know, I was able to talk to her. I was able to tell her I was sorry. We were able to talk to each other and get on this understanding level. And then we talked about the good things, but we were able to, I was able to talk to her, and I felt like a bitch for telling her that, yeah, I'm glad you got kicked out, which is completely rude to say, but I'm glad she did, because if you only knew the things that happened in the club after hours, especially with authorities, then...
All right, be back for part 2 of this video. Stay tuned.